So, my name's Christopher Mills. Just to introduce myself. I'm from Nexus Point News. It's lovely to meet you, Ruth.
Oh,
Firstly, I want to say I do love your shaggy art in the background.
thank you. It's Charlotte Rose. Don't drink the
Um,
Kool-Aid.
it's lovely. I have a couple questions for you regarding, the girlfriend, as you can see from my background, and
And
some other shows slash films you've worked on in the past or as of recent. So
yes,
firstly, my
I
first
know.
question is I wanted to ask about the Terminal List Dark Wolf. I've not had the opportunity of watching the show yet, but I wanted to ask how it differs working on a spin-off show on a show that you've previously scored on before.
Dark Wolf is like much more than a spin-off. Terminus is like a psychological revenge thriller, and this is kind of like an origin story of what turned this good guy kind of bad, and
Yeah.
he's essentially a good guy, but he can't do the right thing unless he kind of does it his own way, the
Hmm.
wolf way. It's a whole different world. And we tried using the music from Terminal List on it, and it just didn't work. So I had to just come up with a whole new sound for it.
Were there any challenges in doing that?
I guess it's that daunting thing when you're starting a show where you think, oh, well, I know this world. And then it's like, actually, you don't yet because you feel like it's a whole big blank canvas. That's also quite exciting.
Yeah.
But then the showrunner, Dave DiGilio, is amazing. We work together and bounce ideas around. He's like, this guy is quite soulful. He's a lone wolf and he sort of does things his way. He feels deeply. He's also kind of wolfy.
Yeah.
It was like quite fun then. I think it's that first spark when you kind of come up with something. Oh, he's like he likes he likes rock. He likes classic rock. So, like start listening to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and that kind of stuff. And what can I pull from that? What kind of sound could be a wolfy sort of sound. It's quite sort
Mm.
of scratchy, it's quite primal. There's like percussion in it, and it's like solo instruments played almost close to the wire, close to the bow. We've even got tongues playing stuff.
Yeah.
It gets pretty feral. So
I'm excited to get into it myself. I just haven't found the time, but it's something that I
I
saw the
think
look of and I really wanted to get into it.
I
So I
think
feel
you
like it's a
really
lovely
enjoy
world.
it. This is like another universe. It's an international spy thriller as well.
Mm,
It's very glossy. It goes all round. Amazing European locations, and it's beautiful, and it's like really exciting. It's amazing cast. There's like new characters you wouldn't have seen before, and just a great ensemble piece. It's not just the kind of focusing on Ben. It's the world that he lives in, and like what is it like to kind of be undercover, to be a spy. I think you really like it.
For my next question, you've worked on, countless thrillers before. You've got The Bodyguard, and obviously we have these two Terminal List shows. Did scoring The Girlfriend feel like familiar territory for you, or did that feel different from having scored these previous thrillers?
Like The Girlfriend is a thriller, but it's not a conventional thriller.
Yeah,
It kind of ends up like that, but it's kind of a war between these two characters. So it starts off almost like playful, like I could dance. They're kind of dancing around each
yeah,
other. And it ends, and I don't want to spoil anything, but you can tell that it's not going to be pretty.
yeah.
And it's sort of the lengths they go to almost over well, between each other and kind of about Daniel, who's in the middle of your picture there. And it's, yeah, but I don't know. So I don't approach it like that. I'm sort of like looking at the characters and trying to find something, like I said with the Dark Wolf, it's like, what is their sound? And because on this one, they wanted a different sound world for each character. So they wanted Laura and Cherry to be really distinct because it's an unusual way it's shot because you see everything from two different perspectives,
Yeah.
from Laura's and then Cherry's. So it's almost like you want to identify with one and then the other and flip it. So that was really fun to kind of come up with like two different, like Laura being kind of more acoustic and Cherry being more sort of edgy and electronic. And it was cool. It's like using the same instruments but processing them in different ways. So yeah, it's kind of has elements of Bodyguard in it by the end, definitely. There's some kind of mad. I had this and I added in this kind of shaman drum, which is almost
Mm,
like I was looking for a particularly sort of female type of war drum, you know?
yeah.
And the shaman drum has this very sort of spiritual connection. It's kind of deep, like, I'm going to put a spell on you and I'm going to mess you up. It's that kind of sound, you know? So it's a lot of fun. And vocals as well. It's cool to play with vocals. Laura's got sort of chanty stuff, and Cherry's ones are kind of more glitchy.
I was
So,
gonna say you've kind of there's two things you've said that kind of go into some of my later questions, which I'll go into now. The first being that the girlfriend structure is very much you follow one character, see how things are from that perspective, and then you follow the other character, and it's like things don't really seem the same from that perspective. And obviously, the scores for each character kind of follow that same sort of theme, and it's not something that I think we usually get to see in TV or even movies that have different perspectives. So
yeah.
obviously you mentioned that it was fun scoring like that, and I was wondering, is that something that's a first for you, having to score like that?
Yeah, yeah, from two different perspectives like that. That was a new thing. So that's what made it really like different and fun to do. Yeah. And I think it does help kind of pull you into the character perspective because I think by the end, if you are still like, which one, I think that's a fun debate. Which character am I siding with?
Yeah,
And it won't be clear, even though at times it seems, but then you're pulled and pulled. So I like that the music can help that journey, kind of
yeah,
help sort of feel for them as well. So it's like sometimes music really mad and kind of you're in that space of like because they kind of really wind each other up, and then also there's a kind of like the pain and there's some genuine real emotion that the show goes to. So the music also really supports that and kind of it's a personal story for both of them, and
yeah.
I feel for them when I'm doing it. Sometimes you're just like
I think that's what's
welling
so
up.
beautiful about scores and like soundtracks in movies and films because obviously the script and the performances could have you feel in one way, but I think it's the music that really puts everything together to maybe make you understand like, oh, this scene is really telling another story than I thought it was originally. And I think it really works well in The Girlfriend. Having I think I was watching the first episode
Oh, you've watched the
and
first episode.
yes,
Oh,
I've seen the first episode and
oh,
I'm looking
cool.
forward to seeing the rest. And I think I just kind of liked how as soon as you started following Olivia Cook's character, you kind of start thinking, oh, is the mom maybe, seeing things the wrong way? Like, is she bad? Like, it's so conflicting that I think from the first episode you don't really
Yeah.
know. So that's why I'm excited to see the future episodes because maybe it'll paint a clearer picture, and I feel like the music is gonna help, or maybe it
It
won't paint a
goes
clearer picture.
really
Maybe,
at, it's
yeah,
out there. It's such a cool ride. The show is it's like the first episode just kind of sets everything up and then especially halfway through. Oh my God.
no, I'm excited. I'm excited to get
It's
through
worth
it.
it is so worth yeah, watching it. I think they're releasing it all as one because it's highly bingeable. That's what I would say.
I mean, I remember because I was watching it last night. I wanted to continue, but then I was like, I have to go sleep and I have to wake up. I have to wake up on time. And then you mentioned obviously the vocals in the score, and it's something I really picked up on. There's a lot of, harmonies that are played throughout, and I feel like those harmonies can kind of make it feel slightly eerie or tense.
Oh, yeah,
And I
good.
wanted to know if that was like your intention, with creating that sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, I suppose we were trying to be careful not to lead the audience too much in the first episode. So, like, if you say slightly eerie and tense, that's perfect. 'Cause it was kind of like we were trying to create playful tension. We don't know it tense because nothing really is happening as such. Like no one's killing each other. It's more like looks and feelings of
Yeah,
like awkwardness and stuff. But it's like that something underneath is happening. And especially with Laura, like, why does she have this relationship with her son that's a bit too possessive? And you're just trying to create that there's something underneath, but not to say too much. It's also like Laura comes across quite, she's rich and she's powerful and stuff. And we also wanted to give her a little sense of underneath, she's kind of like a bit mad and a bit kind
Mm,
of like that she has this capacity to be kind of playful and wacky as well. So that's what you were saying before about what can the music say that you're not
yeah.
necessarily seeing. We tried a different approach where it was more glassy and kind of more how she appears at the beginning, and it was like, nah, this isn't right. We need
Mm.
to give her a bit more spark, and weirdness.
I think it works honestly so well.
Oh, brilliant. Oh,
It
that's so
I
great.
think I think with films and shows, and obviously no offense to, other composers, sometimes when you're watching a movie, you come out of it and you're like, the music wasn't really memorable. But I think watching The Girlfriend, you come out of it and you're like, yeah, the music feels like it's part of the cast. It's its own character. So I think
Oh,
it does
great.
it works
Oh,
really well.
thanks.
You previously did The Old Guard too. I got to interview Victoria Mahoney for that as well.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic. She's
you actually
amazing.
said something earlier that reminded me of that interview. And I remember she mentioned music kind of flowing like a dance. She wanted the action sequences in that film to feel like they were a dance. And I remember agreeing that that's what they felt like. It wasn't, hard hitting, fast paced action. The action in that movie, it served the purpose. They felt like dance sequences taking place, and I think the music really complemented that. So I wanted to ask additionally if when while working on the Old Guard 2, was that some a conversation you maybe had in regarding to how to tackle the music for the action sequences? Or was there a different, direction you were going with?
I guess it was a kind of organic sort of process. And then, once we sort of found music that felt like it, like we're talking about building the world,
Yeah.
like of the sound world of something that sounds like the old guard. And I think when we sort of kind of came across that, like a mixture of this kind of really old ancient sounds with modern sounds, then that kind of language came together. So with the two that big sequence at the end where they're circling each other, Charlize and Uma, these two amazing women.
Yeah,
It
100%. Yeah.
there's like a mixture of it's like scoring in stages, I suppose. So it's like emotion, power,
Mm,
it's like the time that's passed. You're trying to kind of in the music give the depth of their emotions and not just the kind of venom and like you say action. So it's like the mysticism of it
yeah.
underneath as they're kind of circling. So it's like trying to bring and like each of them had a theme. So it's like trying to highlight moments where one is overpowering the other. So you'd have like a bit of Uma's theme, which is like the Antichrist, the kind of
Yeah.
darkness pulling you down, and then Andy's theme, which is kind of very like hopeful and sort of taking you upwards somewhere. So it's like shifting and changing along with the sequence. So I guess it feels like you're saying like a flowing. It's almost something we didn't discuss, but because it was happening all so fast when we were, I think like you said, once they're like Vic was happy with the sound, it's like if it works, it just went into
Yeah.
the film, and then it became part of the fabric. It's almost like telepathy or something, when you're doing
You just
that.
you just know like
You have to
it's
just know and feel it. You have to feel it, and I think that's kind of what the filmmakers and directors, you couldn't describe how you're directing a scene. I don't know how to direct a scene. It's like you want to inspire the actors to make it feel real, and I think
yeah.
that's what I want to do with the music is not kind of there's music playing here, guys. It's like you're you're just wanting to kind of grab uh like the heart of something and just wrap it around,
It's
juice.
it's it's a similar job because the director, the writers, they want to connect with the audience, and as a composer, you also want to make sure you're connecting with the audience in a natural organic way
It's
and not a way that feels
natural. It's
forced.
like you
Yeah.
say, yeah, natural, not hit over the head. Action. That means it has to be dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yes, it does in a way, but you're also trying to say something else about why specifically them and that time. Who are they? What are they feeling? It's like that's what and the audience are not dummies. You have to make it feel real. Like I have to
Yeah.
feel moved by it. Obviously, I'm moved when I see it for the first time without music, but then when you put the music on it, you just get that click of, oh, yeah, okay, something's elevated there now, and it feels like I'm telling the story. I'm helping to tell the story. That's the job of the composer, is to kind of really like it's that third dimension, isn't it?
Yeah.
You it kind of makes it come touch you.
And then to work around that back to what the initial question was going to be, I wanted to ask about, your workflow and how you prepare yourself and your mind to flow between projects that don't necessarily require the same kind of feeling to the score or tone as you do work across a various, type of genres. You got Regency type like Regency era stuff that you've worked on before, you got the thriller stuff, action stuff.
Yeah,
That's
it's
I wanted to
so
ask about
fun.
that.
Yeah, it's really fun to jump between genres actually, because it helps to think of different ways to do things as well. It's like you say, you use a little bit of Bodyguard on the girlfriend. It's like a bit of period drama comes into Dark Wolf because of the epic scale of it. You're
Hmm.
pulling on the orchestral vibe of it. So there's like cross-pollination that goes on, and ultimately you're telling stories, aren't you, about
Yeah.
people? So it's always like, what is the story? That's what interests me, rather than, well, people are expecting this. It's Jane Austen, so we have to do piano and strings or
Yeah.
something. I'm always thinking, well, why? What's different about it? What could I bring that's something not so like alien, like people go, oh, it's all
Yeah.
synths or something, but to tell it like for example, 1820s was kind of crazy time where people used to kick up their heels and go mental in the dance floors, and it wasn't as prim as you would think. And you see
Yeah.
with period drama, so it's like we wanted to make it more wild, and then we wanted to make the score more wild, but also kind of folksy because she liked folk music. So it's like how to bring in elements to make it particular to the show and not because genre to me makes you think it's something that can be recognized or becomes then generic. I'm always trying to look for ways to push it a bit. So what makes it more characterful, so that almost the audience don't think, they don't notice, oh, there's something different going on, but they just think, oh, yeah, it's enhanced or something. You're pulled into it more.
Yeah.
That's always the aim, and that's what makes it fun. I think if you were just doing the same music, the same style, I think I would get a bit bored with that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. Doing the same thing of anything eventually be like getting a bit tired of it now.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's always how to make it different. And I work with musicians, and I have a fantastic team. My husband's in the other room there. I work with him. He plays loads of instruments. And musicians, I'm always working with musicians and experimenting with sounds to come up with, like with the girlfriend, I recorded all the musicians and made sample banks of all of their stuff, then messed around with it and then recorded more. So you're creating the whole sound from scratch kind of thing. So that's why, like, how did you make that? I don't it's not like you're trying to be some kind of genius or anything, but you're trying to make something specific,
yeah.
that. And it's just like each job is a new challenge. So fun.
And then also, while on the topic of just genres, are there any genres that you've yet to work on that would be a dream for you to work on?
Okay. It's either going to be Disney or horror.
Disney or horror? They're very different, widely different, but I appreciate it. Disney, I feel like Disney music is it's so magical. It's such like a good feel. No matter what the movie's about, you always end up just feeling good after listening to a Disney soundtrack. Like you could. you can put on a Disney score at any time of the day, any time of the week, and you feel good. And then horror, I think horror. I've always found horror score to be so. I mean, I don't make music. I don't know much about making music, but I feel like it's so hard because a lot of it to me has like similar sounds. So I feel like while when scoring horror, I'm trying to think of a horror movie where I've come out of that movie and I'm like that score, the score really maybe something like Midsummer because I always remember the score for Midsummer.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that Midsummer.
Yeah,
And then Smile's another one, which has got some
Smiles.
really,
Yeah, Smiles great. Yeah,
really good sounds in it.
especially with the sequel and how that involves music just as a whole. Yeah,
Yeah,
Smiles really great. Smiles another one. I'm
yeah,
hoping you get the chance to either work on
yeah.
a Disney or horror project.
Me too. I would love to do that. I love the sort of scaring people because I think music can really scare people.
It can. It easily can. To be fair, even me saying that there's similar sounds, but I jump easily when watching horror films. I'm not the strongest when it comes to horror movies, and I think it's the sound that gets me more than what's actually happening on the screen itself that normally gets me. So that's 100% true what you've just said, that you can scare people with just the sound alone. Is and
Yeah,
I think that's what makes a horror film in all fairness.
it's
Without the sound.
something. Yeah, it's something very subliminal, isn't it? It's sort of.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, primal or something. That sound and what it does to you is very. It kind of like it'd be fun to do a test like on anyone in the whole world and how it
Because
affects you. 'Cause
most
it
of the
must,
time I'm like, I feel like I should be scared right now when listening to it. Like, I feel like
yeah,
it's telling me to be scared and it's putting a message into my brain like, you should be scared right now, which forces me to be scared in that moment
yeah, it's
when
like a
listening to it.
hardwired thing, isn't it? That
Yeah,
everyone feels like whispering or like low sounds or
yeah,
just dissonance and playing with dissonance. Choral stuff is just the omen and all of that. Even though it
yeah,
can be funny as well, it can be very funny because it can be used in that kind of oh Nosferatu kind
yeah.
of. But it could be so creepy if you just distort one of the voices or just make it slightly off key. You'd, oh, mummy.
It's like
Piano notes.
it reminds me of. I don't know if you recall the first trailer for Us, and I unfortunately can't remember the name of the song right now. Oh, but I think it's You Got Five on it, and it's a song you wouldn't expect to ever be used for a horror movie in like such a scary way, but the way they edited it and distorted it makes it one of the creepiest songs for horror trailer. And I thought that was one of the best uses. So what you said, simply just distorting something or changing something up can really change the
It's
entire
hideous.
meaning of a song. So that reminded me of that just that moment because I think everyone was like did not expect this song to become such a creepy song. It's a song people used to party to, and now it's
Yeah,
just and now
yeah.
people just connect it to horror all of a sudden.
I love
Um,
that.
and then one final quick, simple, easy question before letting you go, Ruth. Are there any, upcoming projects that, you're currently working on that you'd like to let people know about?
So yeah, the next terminal list actually
Yeah,
working on at the moment. So it's the next installment. So it's James Reese, played by Chris Pratt, is going on his journey. Have you seen? Did you say you have seen the terminal list, or you haven't yet?
I've not seen Terminus Dark Wolf. I've seen some
You
of
saw
Terminal List.
you
Yeah,
saw some of terminal list. Okay, so it's amazing. This next season is almost it's bigger than terminal list, and it's like it goes all over the place, and it's kind of like a big conspiracy thriller, and it's kind of it goes into so many different landscapes, Africa and all around parts of Europe, and it's really exciting. It's
that
cool.
must be fun playing with like, world music and involving that
Yeah,
with
I
the
love to
score for the
take
show.
yeah, like taking elements, but it's like how you take them and not make it too much like the
Yeah.
place flavors, and then just again sort of distorting them a bit. Like we use so when we were doing Middle East, um, we had frame drums, which is like a Middle Eastern drum, but we put chains on them. So
Mm.
it's almost like a snare, a military sound, but with a Middle Eastern flavor. So I like that kind of, oh, it sounds a bit like a snare drum, but it's kind of this dusty, got this dusty sound to it. So it's
Yeah.
like trying to find things like that that give it kind of color to it, but it doesn't kind of go, we're in, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hungary now. So you've got this, you know, yeah, it's fun.
Honestly,
Distorting things.
distort the
Yeah,
the
distorting. That's our theme.
distorting is the theme of the day.
Yeah.
That's the message of the day. Honestly, thank
Yeah,
you
because it's
so
something you
much.
recognize, but then you change it a bit so it
Yeah.
becomes something familiar yet not quite, you know.
It work. I mean, it works every time when it's done. So you can't fault it. But Ruth, I wanted to just say thank you so much for your time. I feel like I took you for longer than I was supposed to,
Oh,
but
I love to, you're a great interviewer and I really enjoyed it. I love to talk about making music, so.
you are actually the first composer for like film and TV that I've actually ever interviewed. So this was actually
Oh
a
wow.
great experience,
Hey.
getting to learn more about it. And I think it will even help me when I, go back to write reviews and such, having this understanding. So honestly, I want to thank you so much for your
Oh
time
great.
and the
Well, if you
answers you
ever want to do
provided.
another one on anything else, I'd be happy to because I find it I'm always finding new things to that would kind of blow my mind about it. So,
I'll make a promise here. I will do a big catch up on the terminal list, and then hopefully I can come back to you with more questions regarding specifically the terminal list, and hopefully that can be some more fun.
that would be really fun. It would be great. Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
time.
All
I,
right.
I hope you
We'll
have a
we'll
lovely
see
day,
you at the
Ruth.
premiere, right?
I will see. I'll see you at the premiere. Hopefully, I'm gonna see if I can walk around and see if I can find you. So hopefully I won't
Yeah,
miss you when that comes around.
definitely. All right.
Well, it was lovely
Thank
meeting you,
you.
Ruth.
It's great to meet you.